Hey there, hi there, ho there. Welcome to Geology 110. This is our very first lecture, Unit 1. So I'll kind of introduce how the lectures are going to go, and then we'll jump into it. So the lectures are set up, each unit, with a series of videos, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, give or takes, right around there. A series of videos for you to watch and listen. Please don't just put these on and listen. Please don't just mute it and watch. You're really going to miss out on that experience. So please watch and please listen. There's information that I'll go over. There's questions I might pose to you for you to just kind of think about. And ultimately, the material on this, or in these lecture videos, will show up on assessments. It's what we'll build on for our assignments, labs, etc. Plus, there will be a series of questions associated with these lectures at the end of all of these videos. That will be located in Canvas. So sit back, relax, listen, pay attention, watch, and let's go on this journey of Geology 110 together. Wow, that was cheesy. Sorry. All right, Section 1. So understanding natural hazards. So just something to ponder. Why is studying natural hazards important? That's what this class is all about. So why is this stuff important? Who cares, right? Well, there's a number of different things. We need to understand Earth's internal and external processes. Internal processes include kind of things like volcanism, earthquakes. Those are caused by what's going on inside the Earth. But we also need to know externally what's going on. Some of those external processes, storms, floods, landslides, are all affected by external processes. And all of these have effects on civilization. We have to figure out how to adjust for these effects, whether it's moving to places we shouldn't be living, overcrowding, driving people to live in more dangerous places, closer to the volcano, closer to where it gets flooded. Climate change, how do we deal with all of these effects? And to understand that natural hazards, they're going to happen. They are a repetitive natural process. These are a potential threat to human life and property. It's kind of like the definition of what a natural hazard is. A repetitive natural process, an event that is potentially a threat to human life and property. Some natural hazards are more hazardous to life. Some natural hazards cause more economic damage. But in either case, there is some threat. No area of the world, I say no area of the world, is considered hazard-free, including Arizona. So looking around the U.S. as far as some of the top natural disasters per state, you can see that tornadoes really make up a big chunk of the central U.S. Wildfires, earthquakes, flooding, hurricanes along the coast, snowstorms, blizzards along the northeast coast. So these are what cause the biggest disasters, which I'll define in just a second. What do you think about Arizona? Which on this list? Which on this list here do you think as far as the top natural disasters per state? What do you think Arizona is? Park that in the back of your brain. We'll come back to it. So I've used a few different terms: natural hazard and natural disaster. They're actually two different things. The natural hazard, as I've somewhat defined, is a threat of a naturally occurring event that will have some sort of negative effect on humans. It's the threat. So, a flood, that's a natural hazard. The wildfire, that's a natural hazard. These are things that, we know that are threats to communities. A natural disaster is an actual hazardous event. When that event occurs over a kind of some sort of limited time span within a defined area and meets the following criteria of 10 or more people are killed, 100 or more people are affected, a state emergency is declared, and or international assistance is required. Any one of those or more would define it as a natural disaster. So let's say a wildfire happens out in the middle of nowhere, and it burns forests and things like that. Well, okay, that's the hazard. It's occurring, but let's say it's not near anybody's homes, not near a city, no one dies. It doesn't become a disaster. However, if that wildfire burned through a forest and started burning down houses and started killing people, then if it starts to meet this criteria, then that natural hazard becomes a natural disaster. So when we're talking about natural disasters and losses, on average, about 80,000 people globally die each year in natural disasters. That's a lot. 80,000 people around the globe die in natural disasters. Financial loss on average from natural disaster now exceeds $50 billion per year. All right, so also large financial losses. From 1900 up through 2019, which we have the most current data, this is just a pure number of natural disasters. It's not necessarily that, things are happening more often. They are. But what's really driving this increase is that there's more people living maybe where they shouldn't be living. Yes, there's more wildfires. Climate change is making it drier. Yes, there are more hurricanes. Climate change is altering weather patterns out in the east. So there is some natural uptick from that. That's the hazard itself. Remember, what makes it a disaster is if people are affected. If aid is needed, if people die. Well, with more people being affected by the hazards, you're having more disasters. These are the events that cause disasters. So they are on the rise. Why? More people. If we look at global disaster or global deaths from natural disasters, now even though natural disasters are on the rise, deaths are kind of low. All right, look at what happened in the 30s. We're talking 3+ almost 4 million people died in whatever year this was from some sort of natural disaster that may have occurred. But you can see there's a lot of deaths, but the closer you get to now, there's deaths. So there's becoming less deaths, more disasters occurring, and there's more economic loss. And that goes to a number of different things. And we'll talk about those in just a minute. So we'll pause here. So that's the end of this first section. And you can follow along with the PowerPoints that are in Canvas. So we'll stop here. Each video is about one section. Sometimes I have to break it up into two videos per section. So we're done with that first section. When we come back, we'll talk about section 2 in the PowerPoint, some of the other additional statistics behind natural disasters. I'll see you back here in just a minute.